Yankees third baseman Alex Rodriguez dodged questions as he drove off in his near $500,000 car late Wednesday.
Alex Rodriguez, once celebrated as one of baseball's brightest stars, saw his life take a dark turn when the spotlight shifted from his on-field heroics to his off-field scandals. The terror began when his ex-wife started to expose his secret life, revealing a web of extramarital affairs that shocked fans. But this wasn't the end of his troubles. His use of performance-enhancing drugs made the picture worse. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe. In 2002, Alex Rodriguez married Cynthia Skirtis, a psychology graduate he had met at a gym in Miami. They seemed like the perfect couple, especially when they welcomed their first child, Natasha Alexander, on November 18, 2004. A few years later, on April 21, 2008, their family grew with the birth of their second daughter, Ella Alexander, in Miami, Florida. But things weren't as perfect as they seemed. On July 7, 2008, Cynthia filed for divorce, citing emotional abandonment and accusing Alex of extramarital affairs and other marital misconduct. The news was shocking as it painted a very different picture of the man who had been a baseball icon. In response, Alex admitted that their marriage was irretrievably broken, but asked the court to remove any mention of his alleged affairs from the records. The couple eventually reached a settlement that September, ending their 6-year marriage. Around this time, rumors swirled that Alex was involved with pop superstar Madonna. However, in July, Madonna denied any romantic involvement with him and insisted she had nothing to do with the breakdown of his marriage. In February 2017, Alex started dating singer and actress Jennifer Lopez. Their relationship quickly became the talk of the town, and by March 2019, they were engaged. Alex often praised Jennifer, calling her a powerhouse and admiring her incredible work ethic and vision. He even joked that while others might see her as a triple threat, he saw her as an octopus threat because of how much she could do. However, despite their strong connection, the couple announced the end of their engagement in April 2021.
You cheat, you win a championship, there is no suspension, and then there's no remorse.
Moving on to the scandalous performance-enhancing drugs. In July 2007, former outfielder and admitted steroid user Jose Canseco announced plans to release another tell-all book about Major League Baseball, following the success of his 2005 bestseller, Juiced Wild Times, Rampant Roids, Smash Hits, and How Baseball Got Big. Canseco claimed that this new book would include shocking revelations about Alex Rodriguez, labeling him a hypocrite. At the time, Rodriguez vehemently denied any involvement with steroids, even during a 2007 interview with Katie Couric, where he flatly rejected ever using performance-enhancing drugs. However, in February 2009, things took a dramatic turn. Selena Roberts and David Epstein of Sports Illustrated reported that Rodriguez had tested positive for 2 anabolic steroids, testosterone and primobolan, during the 2003 season with the Texas Rangers. This was the same season where Rodriguez had not only captured his first American League MVP award, but also smashed 47 home runs, pushing his career total past 300. The steroids test results were part of a government-sealed report, which listed 104 Major League players who had tested positive for performance enhancers during a 2003 drug survey. This survey was initially conducted anonymously to determine if mandatory drug testing was necessary for Major League Baseball. Although the 2003 test results were supposed to remain confidential, they were seized by federal authorities during the Balco investigation and eventually made public. The revelation rocked the baseball world, especially since primobolan, one of the steroids Rodriguez used, had no approved medical prescription and was known to be favored by other controversial figures like Barry Bonds. After the report was published, Rodriguez sat down for an interview with ESPN, where he finally admitted to using banned substances from 2001 to 2003. He confessed that the pressure to perform was overwhelming and that during those years, baseball had a very different, more lenient culture around drug use. Rodriguez expressed deep regret, calling himself young, stupid, and naive at the time. He claimed that since leaving the Rangers in 2003, he had not used any banned substances, emphasizing that his years in New York had been clean. Rodriguez also shed light on how he had first learned of his failed drug test. He mentioned that in August 2004, Gene Orsa from the Major League Baseball Players Association tipped him off that he may or may not have failed a test in 2003. Despite these claims, Rodriguez said he never knew for sure that he was on the list of 104 players who had tested positive, and he absolved the players' union from any blame in leaking his results. The fallout from this scandal put Rodriguez's legacy at risk. MLB Commissioner Bud Selig even briefly considered punishing Rodriguez for his steroid use, but ultimately decided against it, as there were no penalties in place at the time of the testing. The situation was further complicated when Rodriguez held a press conference in Tampa, where he revealed that he and an unnamed cousin had purchased an over-the-counter drug, possibly Primobolan, from the Dominican Republic. Rodriguez admitted that he had injected himself with this substance twice a month for 6 months each year from 2001 to 2003. He claimed he was unsure if he was using the drug correctly or if it was safe, but he did feel more energetic while on it. In the wake of the scandal, Rodriguez committed to becoming a spokesperson for the Taylor Hooton Foundation, an organization dedicated to educating young people about the dangers of steroid use. He also began speaking at schools, trying to turn his mistakes into a lesson for others. Yet the controversies didn't end there. On February 28, 2010, the New York Times reported that Rodriguez had received treatment from Canadian sports doctor Anthony Galea in March 2009. Galea, who later reached a plea agreement for bringing unapproved drugs into the U.S., confirmed that he had treated Rodriguez but insisted that he had only prescribed anti-inflammatories. The combination of these admissions and scandals created a complex legacy for Alex Rodriguez, forever intertwining his impressive baseball career with a cloud of controversy. The Biogenesis baseball scandal then exploded onto the scene.
When Alex Rodriguez stepped up to the bat, got booed in Chicago, he is vowing to fight his ban.
Rodriguez reportedly received human growth hormone from Biogenesis of America, an anti-aging clinic in Coral Gables, Florida, run by Anthony Bosch. As whispers of his involvement in the scandal grew louder, the summer of 2013 became a waiting game, with many expecting Rodriguez to face a significant suspension. The first definitive sign came on August 3, 2013, when Major League Baseball rejected the players' union's last-minute attempt to negotiate a deal. Instead, Rodriguez was given until the afternoon of August 4 to reach an agreement regarding his punishment for his role in the Biogenesis affair. Then on August 5th, MLB dropped the hammer. Rodriguez was handed a massive suspension, set to run from August 8 through the end of the 2014 season. This meant missing a total of 201 regular season games, plus any postseason games. He was one of 13 players suspended for their involvement in the scandal, but his punishment was by far the most severe. In its official statement, MLB explained that the suspension was based on Rodriguez's use and possession of numerous forms of prohibited performance-enhancing substances, including testosterone and human growth hormone, over the course of multiple years. The league also accused him of trying to cover up his violations by engaging in a course of conduct intended to obstruct and frustrate the Office of the Commissioner's investigation. Normally, a first-time offender would face a 50-game suspension, but MLB had the option to extend Rodriguez's punishment under the collective bargaining agreement, arguing that his actions were detrimental to baseball. Almost immediately after the suspension was announced, Rodriguez announced that he would appeal. He was the only player to do so. The others accepted their season-ending 50-game suspensions without question. Although MLB Commissioner Bud Selig had the power to remove Rodriguez from the field immediately, he chose to suspend him under the drug agreement and not the collective bargaining agreement. This allowed Rodriguez to continue playing while the appeal process was underway. If the suspension were upheld, it would have included a global lock clause, preventing Rodriguez from playing in other leagues, such as in Japan or Korea, as those leagues honor MLB suspensions. Rodriguez, determined to fight the charges, hired high-profile New York criminal defense lawyer Joe Tacopina. What followed was a lengthy arbitration process. In the end, the suspension was upheld on January 11, 2014, but because Rodriguez had been allowed to play during the appeal, it effectively reduced his suspension to 162 games, the entirety of the 2014 regular season schedule. If the Yankees had made it to the playoffs that year, Rodriguez would have been barred from participating, but the team failed to qualify. Despite the ruling, Rodriguez remained defiant, issuing a statement that he would challenge the decision in federal court. However, on February 7, 2014, he made a surprising announcement. He would abandon his lawsuit and accept the suspension for the 2014 season. As the scandal continued to unfold, reports surfaced in March 2014 that Rodriguez had refused to pay the balance of his legal fees, which amounted to more than $3 million. By July, his lawyers had sued him for $380,000 in unpaid fees, adding another layer of controversy to an already dramatic saga. Then in November 2014, another bombshell dropped. It was revealed that in the previous January, Rodriguez had admitted to the Drug Enforcement Administration that he had indeed used performance-enhancing drugs. This admission directly contradicted his earlier, passionate denials from just 18 days prior, where he had vehemently refuted any allegations of using human growth hormones. This revelation not only deepened the scandal, but also further damaged Rodriguez's credibility, leaving his legacy in tatters. Despite this, his career was a record-breaking one.
Grounded to third. Nice play by A-Rod. He comes home. They got him. And they might have a triple play. They get a triple play to get out of the jam.
The Seattle Mariners picked Rodriguez as the first overall selection in the 1993 MLB draft, offering him a 3-year contract worth $1.3 million and a $1 million signing bonus. Rodriguez began his professional baseball journey in 1994 with the Appleton Foxes in the Class A Midwest League. He quickly advanced through the ranks, playing briefly with the Jacksonville Suns in Class AA before moving up to Calgary in Class AA. After just 32 games in Calgary, Rodriguez was called up to the majors. On July 8, 1994, Rodriguez made his major league debut as the Mariners' starting shortstop, becoming only the third 18-year-old shortstop in MLB since 1900. He was also the youngest position player in Seattle's history and remains the most recent 18-year-old to appear in an MLB game as of 2021. Rodriguez got his first major league hit on July 9th, singling off Sergio Valdez at Fenway Park. In his first stint with the Mariners, he played 17 games, hitting .204 with 2 RBIs and 3 stolen bases before being sent back to the Calgary Cannons in August. During his time in Calgary, he hit .311 with 6 home runs and 21 RBIs in 32 games. In 1995, Rodriguez spent most of the season bouncing between the Mariners and the Tacoma Rainiers. He hit his first major league home run on June 12th against Tom Gordon of the Kansas City Royals. By August, Rodriguez had secured a permanent spot on the Mariners roster and even got his first taste of postseason play, although he only had 2 at-bats. That year, he played in 48 games, batting .232 with 5 home runs, 19 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases. The following year, 1996, marked Rodriguez's breakout season. He took over as the Mariners' regular shortstop and led the American League with a .358 batting average, the highest for an AL right-handed batter since Joe DiMaggio hit .381 in 1939. At just 21 years old, Rodriguez became the 3rd youngest AL batting leader ever, following legends like Al Kaline and Ty Cobb. He also became the first major league shortstop to win a batting title since 1960 and the first in the AL since 1944. That year, Rodriguez put up incredible numbers with 36 home runs and 123 RBIs. He also led the AL in runs, total bases, and doubles, while ranking among the league leaders in hits, extra base hits, multi-hit games, slugging percentage, RBIs, and on-base percentage. His performance set new records for a shortstop and established new club records for the Mariners. Rodriguez's stellar season earned him the title of Major League Player of the Year from both the Sporting News and the Associated Press. He finished a close second to Juan Gonzalez in the AL MVP voting, just 3 points shy of winning the award. In 1997, Rodriguez continued to shine, batting .300 with 23 home runs and 84 RBIs. On June 5th, he hit for the cycle, becoming the 2nd Mariner and the 5th youngest player in history to achieve this feat. That year, fans voted him to start the All-Star game at shortstop for the AL team, making him the first player to start at that position other than Cal Ripken Jr. in 13 years. This was Rodriguez's first All-Star start and his 2nd appearance in the All-Star game in just 2 years. In 1998, Rodriguez had a remarkable comeback, setting an American League record for home runs by a shortstop and becoming just the third player in history to join the exclusive 40-40 club with 42 home runs and 46 stolen bases. He also became one of only 3 shortstops ever to hit 40 home runs in a season. His power speed number, an impressive 43.9, was the highest ever recorded in a single season up to at least 2008. That year, Rodriguez was named the Players' Choice AL Player of the Year, won his second Silver Slugger Award, and finished 9th in the MVP voting. In 1999, despite missing over 30 games due to injury and playing the second half of the season in the less hitter-friendly Safeco Field, Rodriguez still managed a .310 batting average, 42 home runs, and 111 RBIs. At just 23 years and 309 days old, he became the youngest player ever to reach 100 home runs and 100 stolen bases, a record that stood until 2015 when Mike Trout broke it by a mere 56 days. By 2000, Rodriguez was the Mariners' franchise cornerstone, especially after the team traded away stars Randy Johnson and Ken Griffey Jr. Rodriguez delivered another stellar season, hitting 41 home runs with 132 RBIs and a .316 batting average. He also set a career high with 100 walks and became the only shortstop to achieve 100 runs, 100 RBIs, and 100 walks in the same season. He performed well in the playoffs too, with a .409 batting average and a .773 slugging percentage, but the Mariners lost to the New York Yankees in the AL Championship Series. Rodriguez was named Major League Player of the Year by Baseball America and finished 3rd in the AL MVP voting. After the 2000 season, Rodriguez became a free agent and signed a record-breaking 10-year, $252 million contract with the Texas Rangers, the most lucrative deal in sports history at the time. The contract was heavily criticized for its impact on the Rangers' payroll, leaving little room to improve other areas of the team, such as pitching. In a later interview, Rodriguez admitted he regretted signing with the Rangers and wished he had listened to his agent, Scott Boras, and signed with the New York Mets instead. Rodriguez's power numbers soared with the Rangers. In his first season, he led the AL with 52 home runs, 133 runs scored, and 393 total bases. He became the first player since 1932 to hit 50 home runs and collect 200 hits in a season. His 52 homers were the most ever by a shortstop, breaking Ernie Banks' record of 47 in 1958. He also led the league in extra base hits and finished 3rd in RBIs and slugging percentage. Rodriguez set new Rangers records in several categories and became the only Major League player to start all of his team's games in 2001. In 2002, Rodriguez continued his dominance, leading the majors with 57 home runs, 142 RBIs, and 389 total bases, becoming the first player to lead in all 3 categories since 1984. He won the Babe Ruth Home Run Award and his first Gold Glove Award for his defensive excellence. Despite his incredible individual performance, the Rangers finished last in their division for the 2nd straight year, and Rodriguez came in 2nd in the MVP voting behind Miguel Tejada of the division-winning Oakland Athletics. The 2003 season was Rodriguez's final year with the Rangers. He led the AL in home runs, runs scored, and slugging percentage, winning his 2nd consecutive Gold Glove Award and becoming the youngest player to hit 300 home runs. He tied with Jim Thome for the MLB lead in homers and won his 2nd Babe Ruth Home Run Award. Finally, after 5 top 10 finishes in the AL MVP voting, Rodriguez won his first MVP trophy, despite playing for a last-place team, a feat only matched by Andre Dawson of the 1987 Chicago Cubs. After the 2003 season, the Rangers sought to offload Rodriguez and his hefty contract. They initially agreed to trade him to the Boston Red Sox in exchange for Manny Ramirez, pitching prospect John Lester, and cash. However, the deal fell through when the MLB Players Association vetoed it due to a proposed voluntary salary reduction by Rodriguez. Despite the failed trade, the Rangers named him team captain during the offseason. After Aaron Boone, the Yankees' 3rd baseman, injured his knee in a pickup basketball game, the team needed a replacement for the 2004 season. They found their solution by trading for Rodriguez on February 15, 2004. The Yankees sent second baseman Alfonso Soriano and a player to be named later to the Texas Rangers in exchange for Rodriguez, with the Rangers agreeing to cover $67 million of the $179 million left on his contract. Since Derek Jeter was already the Yankees' shortstop, Rodriguez agreed to switch to third base, a key move to make the trade happen. He also changed his jersey number from 3, which was retired in honor of Babe Ruth, to 13 in tribute to Miami Dolphins quarterback Dan Marino, a hero from Rodriguez's hometown. In his first season with the Yankees in 2004, Rodriguez hit 286 with 36 home runs, 106 RBIs, 112 runs scored, and 28 stolen bases. He became one of only 3 players in history to record at least 35 home runs, 100 runs, and 100 RBIs in 7 consecutive seasons, joining legends Babe Ruth and Jimmy Fox. He also made the All-Star team as a third baseman, his 8th overall selection. However, the season had its share of drama. In a playoff game against the Red Sox, Rodriguez was involved in a controversial play where he knocked the ball out of the pitcher's glove, leading to his being called out for interference. The Yankees went on to lose that series, allowing the Red Sox to make a historic comeback and eventually win the World Series. From 2005 to 2006, Rodriguez continued to excel, winning the AL MVP award in 2005 and setting several records. However, his defensive struggles at third base drew criticism, especially in 2006, which he described as his toughest season. Despite the challenges, he remained one of the game's top players, reaching milestones like his 2000th hit and 450th home run. In 2007, Rodriguez had a standout year, hitting 54 home runs and driving in 156 RBIs, leading the league in several categories and winning his 3rd AL MVP award. However, the season ended with controversy when he opted out of his contract, a move that was widely criticized, especially because of its timing during the World Series. Despite this, Rodriguez re-signed with the Yankees for a 10-year, $275 million contract, including incentives for breaking home run records. In September 2008, Rodriguez hit his 549th home run during a game against the Tampa Bay Rays, which led to the first use of instant replay in MLB history. He had a solid season overall, playing 138 games with a .302 average, 35 home runs, and 103 RBIs. He was one of only 4 AL players to achieve at least 18 home runs and 18 stolen bases in both 2007 and 2008. Rodriguez's 2009 started with controversy when it was revealed he tested positive for steroids in 2003. He admitted to using performance-enhancing drugs from 2001 to 2003. Despite a hip injury that required surgery, Rodriguez made a strong comeback in May, hitting crucial home runs and helping the Yankees clinch the World Series, earning him the 2009 postseason MVP. Rodriguez hit his 600th home run in August 2010, becoming the youngest player to do so. He also set records for consecutive seasons with 30 homers and 100 RBIs. However, he faced challenges with injuries and allegations of illegal poker games. In 2012, he had surgery for a hand injury and struggled in the postseason. He had hip surgery again and was involved in the Biogenesis scandal, leading to a suspension for the entire 2014 season. During his return in 2013, he hit his 24th Grand Slam, breaking Lou Gehrig's record, but had a turbulent year with ongoing legal and team issues. Rodriguez served his suspension for the entire season due to the Biogenesis scandal. The Yankees decided he would not play third base anymore and would focus on being a designated hitter. He made a comeback, hitting several milestones, including his 3,000th career hit and tying Willie Mays for 4th on the all-time home run list. He led the Yankees in home runs and had a solid season overall. Rodriguez struggled with injuries and performance issues. He announced his retirement in August, played his final game for the Yankees on August 12th, and was honored with a special tribute. After his release, he became a special advisor for the Yankees and did not play for any other team. That is it for this one. But if you happen to like MLB legends, make sure to check out our latest videos on our channel, Baseball Icons. I'm sure you will love it. Oh, and while you are at it, drop a comment telling us who to cover next, and don't forget to subscribe.